Since the dawn of democracy in 1994, government is investing in a systematic effort to transform the structure of the economy in a manner that promotes the national objective of achieving an inclusive economic growth characterized by diversity in action. It is in this context that the Department of Trade and Industry launched the Black Industrialist Program, which places particular emphasis on the need to fast-track and increase Black participation in the mainstream economy. The program seeks to improve the capacity and competitiveness of Black manufacturers in key sectors through targeted support. Beneficiaries of the program include established Black industrialists with extensive experience in operations and track records in their sectors who need support to grow their businesses. Since the inception of the program in November 2015, a total of 136 Black industrialists across priority sectors such as agro-processing, aerospace, rail and automotive components, chemicals, pharmaceuticals and plastics, clothing, textiles, leather and footwear, electrotechnical, clean technology and energy, metal fabrication, mineral beneficiation, oil and gas, pulp, paper and furniture, and industrial infrastructure have received support such as access to finance, access to markets, technical skills development, quality and productivity improvement. At the heart of the Black Industrialist Program is the advancement of the industrial sector for sustainable economic growth, economic transformation, decent employment creation, and poverty alleviation.
What we've been trying to do is to seek out the best of the Black industrialists and give them a support program, a dedicated support program to support some productivity raising decision or improvement that they are themselves undertaking. So that's been the genesis and the origin and the concept of the program. And many of them made a very, very important point. They said it's not more money we want from the DTI. We actually want to make sure that the government supports us through buying our products, through the localization of some of their products and so on. And so I think that I've been impressed because I said at the beginning we had a perception that there were insufficient representativity in the manufacturing sector, but actually when we dig a bit deeper we find that there are people around, there are gems around.
Yekani is a contract manufacturer, which means we manufacture on behalf of ODMs, but we're now migrating to being an OEM, where we shall have our own units designed by Yekani, manufactured by Yekani. We received specifically 50 million rand, and that went to purchasing 2 SMT machines. The advantage that gave us is that it removed pressure from our balance sheet, because had we not gotten that grant, we would have had to go to commercial institutions. Government support in many forms, not just money, is critical in the job we're trying to do.
My name is Jacqueline Sibia. I'm the CEO of Talega Manufacturing. We're 100% Black owned. We manufacture various steel components. At the moment, our biggest client is Transnet. We do a lot of rail components. From the DTI funding, we've received so far 26M, with which we bought state-of-the-art CNC machines, which has enabled us to now compete with bigger companies.
We design, develop, maintain buses on behalf of the OEMs. At IDC, we have 2 different types of structures. We've got a preference share capital, which is about 200 million. Working capital revolving facilities, which is about 400 billion, and since employing about 1,400 people. My own relationship with IDC is the fact that it has been responsive and being active support on what I'm doing, and it has been with me from day one.
Malvelox is probably the only 100% black-owned manufacturer of concrete roof tiles as well as steel trusses. If you think about it, there was no Malvelox in 2014 when we went to the IDC except the thought. Today, we have a factory. We employing close to 50 people now. Almost 90% of them are young. And therefore, we are very proud of what we then have achieved. In terms of the grant, is that the grant should not only focus on equipment and machinery, but it should also make a contribution towards some of the working capital.
We manufacture basic mild steel sections, angle irons, square bar, channels, flat bars, and window sections. We started the project with a loan from IDC. Surely we had our capital investment as well. We again in 2012 went for expansion, which was also much bigger to increase our capacity by 3 times. So we asked IDC again for a loan. When we started, we had about 150 employees, and at the moment, we are employing more than 800 employees.
The reason for the financing from the IDC was we wanted to purchase and install a new paper mill, finance the purchase of the property where we had to house this machinery, and also the funds required to install and commission this plant. And we've created over 120 new jobs. And most of these new jobs were people who are, first of all, unemployed.
MSF Trailers, it's a trailer manufacturing company based in the city of Tshwane. We are a company that was founded by black people. It's 100% black owned and black managed. We employ around 28 people, and most of the employees are young people. The DTI grant was mainly used to buy machinery, the production machines that we have, the guillotines, the press brake, the plasma cutter, to enhance production. And it was also used to buy the building where we are currently doing our manufacturing from.
As a business, UIC has been in the business for 2 years. The loan from the IDC helped us to purchase the machines that we are having at this current moment. All the machines that we are having are coming from the IDC loan. The company from the start employed about 65 people.
We got assistance from both the IDC as well as the DTI. We initially got funding from the IDC in terms of loan funding, and then we got funding from the DTI in terms of grant funding. And if I look at our business where it was 2 years ago and where we are now, it's come very far. Well, we initially started with 25 employees, and now we're sitting at 53 employees. We've now got a whole lot more machinery than we did when we started, whereby we can now do the whole value chain in terms of what we supply, which is actually the manufacturing and supply of complex and customized sheet metal fabrication.
ABA, as we call ourselves, we are a textile business, so we manufacture clothes primarily for the retail, corporates, and also we do workwear. Firstly, raising capital is not an easy thing, especially the size of the money that we were looking for. So we're fortunate enough to be considered as part of the BIS scheme, and then all that money, it went towards the building and the equipment, and at least now the building that we're sitting on, it's fully paid up, and most of our equipment, they're half paid. We actually value the support that we receive from the DTI because they did not end with the grant, so we are engaging with different units within the DTI, moving us now more to go to the access to market initiatives that we are currently working on.
Shlobo Footwear started in 2004. We started by when we first started, we employed 8 people we had in our employment. We started as a footwear manufacturing company. We started as a CMT company, and it's cut, make and trim. We started diversifying and started to do our own footwear as well. We landed a contract with Bata to manufacture the toughies for them. When we started with the DTI and the IDC last year in 2018, we increased our footprint from 110 to now what we got now, which is 220. Most of the workers are black female workers. They constitute 95% of our workforce. In order to apply for the DTI grant, you have to have all the information available and all the necessary boxes ticked. You must have a clear vision of where you want to go.
I'm the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of HBM SA Health. The Black Industrialist funding through DTI has had tremendous advantages that is added to our business. As you understand, as a greenfield project, we had to get assets financed before we become operational. The grant came through, it came at the right time to make us to be able to succeed and reach the goal of taking the final product to market. Basically, the amount that was approved for us was 25 million, 25.1 million, and most of it was used for working capital.
Unistar Inks is a manufacturer of printing inks for the food packaging industry. Our product range includes of solvent-based inks, water-based inks, UV curable inks, as well as conductive inks. We've managed to double the capacity in our central manufacturing plant, as well as it gave us the ability to open 2 additional plants. One is our UV plant within Durban, and secondly, the blending and distribution facility in Johannesburg. We are extremely passionate about creating technologies for Africa by Africans.
The IDC was the only people that was willing to look at providing funding towards a line like this, because nobody else had tried it in the country. I mean, IDC's assistance made us a pioneer in an industry that wasn't really happening in this country. The funding that we received from the IDC was loan funding, and we received grant funding from the DTI. This then enabled us to start the company, to import the equipment, and actually to get us rolling from the very beginning. Of the capacity of the new line, it will give us the biggest capacity in the country and possibly the largest capacity on a single line on the African continent.
We are 100% black female-owned business. First in South Africa in manufacturing with pet food. So that was quite an accomplishment for us. At the time when we took over K9, it was a struggling business, but I liked what it represented in the pet food market for premium and super premium pet food. 12 months ending June 2019, we would increase our turnover by just over 100%. And that comes to the support from the likes of the IDC and the DTI. The one thing that I must say, that they could have just given us the money and left us. They haven't. Especially our biggest problem was obviously getting access to market.
Black industrialists generally, at least from what they tell us and what we have seen from a number of research that has been made, is that they do struggle to get funding from commercial banks and different lenders. Where they get funding, the funding tends to be more expensive and some of the terms tend to be more onerous. So it is for this reason that we do have an incentive program that we've put in place to deal with that market failure. But then there are those that we have already supported that may require more help, for which we are already putting in place a program that will assist them for further growth. But the most important area of work that we still need to deal with is making sure that the ecosystem, the financing ecosystem in South Africa is friendly for manufacturing in general and also for black industrialists, in order to make sure that our economy grows from a point of view of consuming mainly and mostly what it is that we produce locally.
Black Industrialist Program, as you know, is one of our newest programs, and it's the first program dedicated to black entrepreneurs and black industrialists. So we needed to both what we call industrialization and transformation. We needed to bring black players into the real economy and into the manufacturing economy. We said over 3 years we wanted to create 100 black industrialists. We've exceeded the time frame. We've done it in less than 3 years. We've achieved the 100 target, and as I said, we're now going into the 139. So there must be strong due diligence. But I think once a company goes through that due diligence and it comes out and is approved, then we expect the DFIs and the DTI and the whole of government, we expect there to be quick delivery times.